Hiya! Oh. Fucking hell. Fuck. Hope you enjoy the video. It's a little build thing. It's nothing crazy. But it's a how-to on building a death machine. So. Is the pink too much? The answer's fucking no. Floor's in, everything's fucking done. Oh. Ooh. Is it not just going to go straight to the moon? That's a bloody exhaust right there. Hey? Jesus! Oh, it's pretty messed up. Alright then. Let's do some machining. Oh yeah, baby. Skin flying through. Whew! That's 8.75 diameter drill bit. I'm going to tap a 10mm hole. The thread pitch on the bolt is 1.25, so you take the pitch of the thread off the diameter of the bolt to give you your desired drill bit size. So the end clearance is 1.25mm, which is exactly what I need. Tap my bolt to a metric fine pitch so it's stronger, because this is going to be the anchor to my didgeridoo. Oh yes, we're singing taps through holes. Get in there. Lovely, lovely. Right, a bit of cardboard-aided design here, people. I need to anchor this cable here somewhere. So my plan is to chuck a little gusset, chuck this little puppy in there like that, drill a hole in it, slide this through the hole, and then have a locking tab that slides into this groove here. Through the hole, locking tab on top. Secure the locking tab. Beautiful. Bada bing, bada boo. Bada bing, bada bosh. Nice and easy. So that locking tab you can just slide off. Obviously there'll be an ungodly amount of Loctite on this one singular bolt holding my steer cable in. But if that stays tight, we're golden. So that's my anchor point. Slide that puppy up in there. Lovely. Him up there. They're over here. Now we need the 90. Lovely. Right, one of those. I've copied the original length off the steering stem, so should have the same feel. Woohoo! Rightio, happy days. Now I've just got to make a little collar for it, stop it from doing all this sort of stuff. Lovely. Aye. Right, this is what we're working with. I've made some nice brass spaces. They're quite thick, so that'll give me a lot of serviceability. They should last a fair amount of time. Step the end of this shoulder. I've got a collar here with that additional, so it's going to sit inside that recess. That'll stop this collar from rocking. Anchor that in there. A couple of washers either side. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Lovely, lovely. So all I need to do now is just make a big steel collar that's going to help tighten all this down. Woo! Right, that's what we're talking. That's what we're saying. That'll be adjustable as well. I can. Yeah, that'll be sound. So one of those. Look at the camera and see if I can see it. Yeah, that's what we're saying. So I'll have to reinforce where this cylindrical base goes. I'll probably put a gusset towards this sort of dash tie. But by golly, this should take a punch. Right, it's in. It's not the prettiest, but it's in and on. I can. So I've got to get inside this thing now. Okay, so we're going to do some welding in here. Now, I am going to have to hold my breath because it's not very good ventilation. But hey, get the welding done, and then we got some functioning steering. I love that. Yeah, we need these puppies. There's no room for the big helmet, so luckily I brought some low profile. I'm going to burn the bollocks off my nose though. Simple stuff, just done nicely. Right, I've made good progress. Let me run you through it real quick. I'll try not to waste your time. Haha! The entire rear end's done. The assembly housing, the impeller housing is all fucking assembled. Come on now. We've got all the bushes, everything's tight. We've got my little spun up caps just to spread the load, keep it nice and rigid. The cooling system's all routed. We've got all the spigots all in, all the hoses all routed. That's the main engine cooling. This is the bilge pump. Siphons water out the engine bay whilst it's running, and that's going to be my feed for the cooler box. Little tidies here and there. You've got the... Oh, she's looking good. Happy days. So that's all gravy. Got the... Ooh! Bilge pump all hooked up. We've got a feed to flush the engine once it's... I can flush that with fresh water. Feed the cooling system. Bilge pump's in. A little mount down here. There she goes. Safety first and all that jazz. Come on now. Bash bosh. Oh, Lord have mercy. So I'm going to clean the tank out now, some airy fairy. Got a nice tank lining kit just to be on the safe side. And then it's time to assemble the thing ready for a test drive. Fuck. Look at that for a mouth, people. By golly, have mercy on me. Look at that for a breather. Fuck yeah. It's gonna eat some water. Come on. So we're cleaning the tank. Let's get it. you can hold the top of the funnel, and I'm going to try to spin over. I want to drain all the fluid out of this edge. Too much in there, so I've got to dump it out. No, I think that's really? Oh, wait, go on. That's where it's going to go. Yeah. Got some stuff. That's hard. And right, sweet as the tank linings went well. Surprisingly, it's set like concrete, so that should work fine. It's time to get the engine all tickety-boo, get it squared away so I can bolt it tight into the hull and get ready for a test drive. There's a few problems along the way. My exhaust manifold is somewhat close, but not quite close enough. These are the ports for the cooling that run through the exhaust manifold, and they transfer through these ports, through the cylinder head and out the top of the head. But the manifold doesn't quite line up with the water jacket, so I'm going to have to bore these ports out so they mate with these ones here and bring this ridge of the manifold up. So I'll have to build this up with weld and then machine it back, because you can see there I'm down sort of 3 mil of gasket face, so I'll only have a couple mil if I was to try run it like this, which I'm not going to. So I'm going to build this face up and get a decent gasket face on there. And obviously a few things to fix along the way. I've got this broken bit of casting here. I'll have to build up with weld, rebore it. Same with this, quite extensive corrosion on this mating face here. That bolt hole is starting to fade away, the poor thing. So all of this is going to have to get knocked back and built back up. But it gives me a opportunity to use the milling machine. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll have to jig that manifold on the milling machine and then skim the face to get an even gasket surface. Oh, but the exhaust is looking tasty. You. Come on. Right, well that's went pretty well. It was a bit savage welding it. So I had to build up that entire corner, cut it back, filled it up, ran loads of beads across the top. Let's skim it. Happy days. Okay. Right, we've got it jigged up on the bench. I've got this nice 90 solid clamp, and I'm using this straight edge here as a reference to level out the face. So it's close enough. I'm going to skim like a millimetre off it. I've got loads of room, so as long as it's, because I've got to, you know, set the level. It's fine on the 90 because this is a fixed shape, but to level it on a twist, I'm going to need some sort of measurement. So that's what we've come up with, and I reckon that'll do. Bring on the skimming process. Right, well it's not the flattest thing in the world, but it would definitely accept the gasket. This thing tends to chatter quite a lot. I think I need to go through and just check all the bushings, especially on the bench and potentially inside this pillar housing. Whenever it's biting on this aluminium, especially in these weird spaces where it's hitting here and here on both sides, it makes the whole thing rock, and that's what these digs are. It's but that's not bad, especially for a first go. I'll take that. Oh, it's pretty messed up. Oh, mid-weld the flipping earth cable's almost fucking melted up. Look at that. Oh, that is fucking savage. Excuse my French, but we're pulling some serious current here. Woo! Shut! God, that's toast. I used to have it strapped up there, look. There's the remnants of medieval. Alright, well, safe to say, I need a new earth cable. Loudy. Loudy. Yeah, we'll set her back to work, that'll do. My work table should be cleaner for aluminium, but oh my god, is it? It's just an absolute mission, so I'm cracking on. But yeah, a bit of pre-warming, pre-heat. Right, I'll just run you through what I'm doing, reclaiming all this aluminium. Thought I might as well, eh? So I've got to cut the old corner off, and then I'm gonna, I had to cut it all off to get back to some decent aluminium. Get rid of all the fairy oxide stuff. And then I'll fill all this up with weld and reshape it and just reclaim that corner, get a new bolt position. Because all the wool around where the bolt was, especially for these two, was all completely gone away. And this one also needs doing, so. That's the first step, knock it right back. Get the Dremel in all the nooks and crannies and the flappy discs to really cut the skin back. And then we'll, up she goes. Right, so this is what we're talking about. Ignore all the porosity on top of the weld, it's all come out the top. The welding's actually okay, it looks a bit smelly, but it'll do. So that's the corner knocked back and then the beads on top. So we'll have to shape all this back up. Right, so we've reclaimed that entire corner. And that gives us loads of room to rebore a hole for my thread. Nice. Right, that's the entire thing repaired. I'm not too worried about the lack of symmetry. It looks a bit rogue, but it's a big ugly bit of cast alley, so it fits in with the rest of the beast. That's going to work lovely. She's flattened off nice. Nice enough to take a gasket. And it's got a decent amount of structure to clamp together tight. Lovely. Little gasket. It's quite thick as well, and it's made of graphite, so it's really heat resistant. That will work sound. Genuinely too much power. Fuck. Right, big boy gaskets. Nice and thick. Plenty of room. Oh, lovely. Right, I'm going to do some port matching now. Make sure that the manifold is saying the right things. And off the bat, it looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. That might be the wrong way around. So you can see the size of the water jacket on the engine compared to the exhaust manifold, so I'm really gonna just bring all of those shapes out just to get the best sort of flow characteristics. Same with the ports. I'm going to do a bit of port matching just to make sure the flow's good. Yeah, I mean, it's not that far off. Right, that's what we're talking. And this is what we're using. Right, I'm not going crazy because it's unnecessary. This is plenty of flow for the water jacket. I'm restricted by the actual port here, so I'm just widening the mouth so I get a nice clean flow through without any interruptions. Same with the exhaust port. I just want the exhaust gases to not have any sort of 90-degree hits to interrupt any turbulence, to make any turbulence. So I think this will do nicely. It's worth paying attention to stuff like this, because this is the difference between a nice crisp responsive engine and a groggy pissed off motor. If that had a little, you know, you can... I might be talking shit, but hey, she's looking good. I think that's going to have some nice running characteristics. Yeah. Good. Nice! All the hardware's in and on! She's tight, the gasket's squashed. I think that's going to do the job. Shit and bollocks. I'll replace all the hardware for stainless when I tear it down to paint it, but for now, gaskets are in, ports are matched, exhaust is assembled. Okay, on to the next thing. Right, we're cracking on with the install. I'm just doing a couple of precautions just to make sure nothing collapses when I'm hooning it. So we're putting an additional engine brace in between these two mounts. These are the main ones that are going to take most of the abuse from the drive cup link. So the plan is to tie these two together, reinforce this centre skin, and just give it a bit more rigidity. So I've jigged it on the roof, squashed that plate down. I'm going to run some beads around this. I've also lapped in these again. I've ran another bead of weld just to make sure they're fused. So yeah, after this is on, I can start installing it. Come on, come on. Nah. Right, I just assembled in a jet boat and I wanted to baffle the exhaust, so I made a little baffle plate. The exhaust fumes have got to be forced underneath that gap and also bring the water along with it. So if this wasn't here, the gases could just flow out and the water wouldn't really be that interrupted. But with this piece installed, the water would have to be pushed out with the exhaust gases, so it should dampen it down a bit. Sing that back together, weld it up, chuck it in. So one of those, in and out. Right, it's still a little bit messy, but I've done the vast majority of the routing, so it'll allow me now to bolt the engine in. There isn't actually that much going on. Slightly concerned at how simple it is, you know, bar all the hardware that I've had to make for it. But yeah, it's good. This red feed here is going to be for the fresh water to run through and then feed the engine for cooling. You can see the spigots right up there. It's going to be the feed for all of my my water distribution. Cooler box is in and tight. You know, it's got just the right amount of wobble, so that should be fine. Hello. Tell you what, the manifold could do some work, man. Look at that. You want to see how brittle this is? Watch this. That's crazy to be able to put out strands that evenly when the material's that brittle. What a beautiful little machine this is. Bashed a little Torx bit in the end. It's just a nice little hose tail for the exhaust. This puppy is going to die with the exhaust. I say this because I'm about to put an ungodly amount of Loctite on this bolt. Oh yeah, baby. So I don't want this thing to ever have to come out. That makes sense. Hence the exorbitant amount of Loctite. It's in there. Right, I'm putting the camera down. I need to smudge this out, spin this in, get the exhaust on. Never to see daylight again. Should work sound. Right, the time has come. I think it's time to say goodnight to that electrical box. Time to clamp the lid on. Got the wiring harness hooked in. I've got all the engine signals feeding to the box. I've got all the starter motor set up to the solenoid. Ignition system on the way out. Little fuse just in case anything goes sour. Yeah, time to square that away and bolt it into the hole, and then I can worry about routing the rest of the wiring loop. Okay. Oh. Right, look, I can't help myself. I've just spent all day setting up the wiring loom and getting the engine installed. I shouldn't really be starting it yet because I've not hooked up the fuel tank, but I can. We've got flipping brake cleaner, so I've got everything going. It should actually start. This is the first time I've heard this engine, even outside of the jet ski as well. So now that it's installed inside the hull, drivetrain's all assembled, and the exhaust is on along with the cooling in the manifold. So I'm looking for exhaust leaks, weird drive line noises, any sort of warping or movement inside the drive shaft, and also the bloody noise. I can't believe the time's here. This is like 8 months, I think, potentially, of work. And I'm almost at the point where I can actually go out at sea. Oh, this might actually fucking start. Shit. This is terrifying. I'm just going to press the button. I ain't going to rev it. I'll see if it even fucking fires. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Oh! What? much horsepower. Fuck right off. Oh my God. That is so rude. What the flying fuck? That's so much horsepower for such a little boat. This engine inside the jet ski had a drive shaft that was about this much longer than what it is now. So the entire powertrain is probably 2 feet shorter than what it was naturally. That coupled with an extremely short nose, much shorter sort of footprint than the jet ski itself. And lighter, most likely. Fuck. Hell. Oh! Let me give you a side shot of this thing. Tatty bye. Fuck. The amount of water this thing's going to move based on its size is silly. Oh, that's just... Steering column's in with grease and it feels really tight. Happy days. It's like butter. Look at that. It's nice and smooth. No noises, no chafing. And those stainless dust covers will work really well. Once this is all packed with grease for the final assembly, you know, that'll be fine. That'll serve us up nicely. Same as little 90. There's virtually no play in that. So it should feel like butter. Look at that, look. Oh, she's smooth, baby. Yeah, lovely. Lume's temporarily in. I need to route the throttle cable and the choke cable through with the wiring loom, and they'll all be tied up together, and that'll strip down nicely. Exhaust cooling's in, bilge pump's in, down there, look, there she is. All this isn't quite finished. I'll tidy all that up later. Okay. Just spinning up a couple spaces now for the rose joints. Oh, it's getting close. Woo. So that's it with the bushes all assembled and tightened. Lovely. She's ready to rip. Ready to rip. Whoa! It's that time. I've got the water hooked up. I've got the fuel tank full of fuel. Got the fuel lines all set in place. There she goes, look. So we've got the fuel turned on. Bled the fuel system. I've got my water hooked up to circulate some coolant. Oh shit, it's time to party. Fuck. Right, sound. Let's get it idling. Let it tick over, and I want to make sure that I've got decent coolant circulation. I don't want any leaks around all my pipe work. So the coolant goes in all sorts of funky directions. It comes in from the back of the impeller housing here, gets slossed around, pressurized through a pipe, into this exhaust manifold, through the exhaust manifold, out the cylinder head, then into this cooling jacket at the back, down there, through here, out the end of the cooling jacket, and then fired into the exhaust down here in this little spigot. Travels through the exhaust main outlet, into the cooler box, through that baffle that I showed you before, and I've also got another feed off one that will function when the actual impeller's pushing water. So I'll have another feed into the water box, just to help keep back pressure. Okay, so I just want to make sure none of this... Holy fuck, none of this is going to leak. Right. Oh my god. It might take a little while to pull fuel through. Let's fire her up. Jesus fucking Christ. Right, I got a little bit too hasty. I had some of these cylinder head bolts removed to help lift the engine up and down. I've just pumped water through it with the head loose, so it might have leaked water in. I might have blown the head gasket, but it's going to be enough to function. I think once these are tight, get rid of the water that's inside and give it a run. Excuse me, Deirdre. So just lock this head down now. Give me a second, and we'll make some noise. This is super exciting. It's so nice to see progression to the point where you have whatever you're doing doing its job. So for me to be tightening up the last few nuts and bolts whilst having to assemble all the little bits and bobs that make this thing move is about as satisfying as it gets inside the mechanical industry. So let's go. Enough talking shite. Let's see if it wants to turn over. We're getting loads of water on the way back. None coming through the motor. She's not hot. It's not bloody warm. It's a good sign. Maybe we've got an airlock. I'm going to take this pipe off. Hopefully just push the water up with the pressure of the hose. Oh, there's a dribble there. It was a dribble. Oh, look at that. Here comes the water. Hopefully. It's probably just backtracking out the impeller. I might need to block that off. In fact, I think I will. Let's do that. Let's get me a little pipe clamp. No. 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 Where is my blooming pipe clamp? Okay, my brother stole it. Ha 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 ha. Right. Well, I'm going to clamp the exit to the water feed, which is basically the main entrance for the actual water pump. But when I'm diverting it off fresh water, it wants to backfill and come out the entrance. We don't want that, so we're going to blank this off. And then see if we can pump it through the head. Fuck it, there she goes, boys. There she fucking goes. Get on there. Right, let's just nip that back up. Right, it should be a lot quieter now, hopefully, if this water continues to pump. Oh, fucking hell. I might be fucking locking the thing up. There she fucking goes! Holy shit! Oi! So it's building up water pressure inside that end can. Ugh. the fuck? Oh my flipping lord. Sorry, landlord. Oh my god, look at the smoke bellowing out. I'm speechless. That is just ridiculous. Lordy. Fuck, you know. Did you see that drive shaft though? That was spinning very well. It didn't look too out of balance at all, really. It looked really smooth. I've got a little pinprick hole in my exhaust, which is not surprising. But it's nice that it's coming out of here. That means my water injection up here is spraying nicely enough to fucking leak through my world, so. Holy fucking shit. Jesus, Mary Christ. Hey, and the cooler box is fucking stone cold, man. Same in a fucking pipework, boys. Oh, the engine's nice and warm, it's a good temperature. Oh, fuck off. Can you picture yourself sat in that? Knees next to your ears and opening up that 700 two-stroke? It's just gonna fucking bop. There should be a sport for this. We should make fucking 20 of these things. Get the loosest people you know, and fucking I'll set the race lap record, and whoever fucking, and then we got a fucking boogie. That would be a sport to watch. These things full bore, because I think it's going to be quite nimble. I've got that channel plate at the back that's going to help with steering. These profiles here is what is going to sort of bite into the water when you're taking quite an aggressive corner. You can picture that banked over at sort of 30 degrees. It's gonna sit inside that channel and hopefully carve through. And if it's not, oh Jesus, Jesus Christ! Oh, my brother's gonna fucking love this. Oh fuck! Right. There's not that much left to do. I'm going to put the windows in, make it look cool. I've got loads of cabling and stuff to do just for the controls and the final odds and sods. I've got to blank off that oil feed for the oil pump. Throttle cable, choke cable, up and around. Fuel lines are in there, they look nice. The clips aren't the nicest. You can imagine your toes getting a bit fucked up. But you know, hose tidies, it's all tucked away all nicely. Transom face comes along here, so this is blanked off. Tuck the wire loom up there. Same sort of wiring tidy situation. But I'll do that when I run the cables through. Oh my god. This is too much. Way too much. Better get me Taiwanese 1970s fan fired up, eh? Come on. Oh, she's all tied away. Getting there. So the wiring loom is routed all the way to the front of the fucking thing. Throttle cable. Lovely. And the old finger whacker. Up and along. Choke mechanism. Look. Look. What else have we done? What else have we got going on here? Fuse front relay. Tidied up the loom, you know, sent it home. It's all out of the way. All nice and waterproof. Yeah, throttle cable's routed, choke cable's routed. Cable tidies are on. Fuel return feed. Bit of tidying up to do back here, but yeah, to think that's all that's between you and all that is this. Come on now. Come on now. getting very close. I've just finished the engine hatch, and I'm just going to glass, make a new floor for the base so I don't cut all the feet up. I'll show you a couple bits on it, why not? There she blows. Couple little hookers on the back, couple of latches up there. Fits in nicely. So that's what we're doing. Lovely, glass the flooring. That'll work sweet. It'll stop my toes from getting battered by all the fuel lines and give me a place to anchor my feet. I'm thinking they can both go sort of sideways, 45 each. And sort of hold on like that. Right, so the last update for me on this video. The next one will be me driving in the water. I'm going to have a bunch of friends come down to a nice little quiet local beach. I'm going to get in the water. Let's see what it does. I want to burn a whole tank of fuel through it. So I can put at least, you know, a few hours on it. So I can, when I do take it apart, the next time I take it apart for paint, I can make sure the engine's still where I left it, make sure the drive coupling and the bearing shaft and all the impeller housing's still fine. The next video, hours, ride, hood, but for now, this is where we're at. Windows are in, I still need a tank sender, my fuel tank is fine. Battery's charging, field sponsor's hooked up, everything's on.